So Riot has responded to the Twitch situation. So we're gonna watch that video here. I'll give you my thoughts and then we'll go over some things afterwards. I have some bad news and some good news. But first, let's just watch the video.
What do you think about Twitch being the lowest win rate carry? Like, are you telling the truth? Oh, whoa! He is telling the truth. There's Twitch. That is surprising to me. That probably indicates that this character is severely underpowered. Twitch is a character who historically has sat around 52% win rate. So the fact that he's 48 right now and not closer to 51 or 52 likely indicates that he is very weak at the moment. Would be my take. And the reason to me Twitch is a character who like is weak at like below 50% win rate, because you know some people like Kai'Sa's pretty close to win rate to him. Like why am I not saying she's weak? And that is Twitch doesn't have a lot of agency. He doesn't have a lot of ability to react to bad things happening to him because he just kind of sits there and shoots you, right? He's a very straightforward auto attacker in a lot of senses. You jump on and you kill him, he hopes he can kill you. And so characters like that, characters like Jinx, Twitch, Ashe, Jhin, stuff like that, I think tend to need to be a bit higher to actually truly be viable. What do you think?
Alright, so he mentions a couple of things there, right? And although I agree with most of it, some I don't. But alright, so let's get the good news out first. Riot responded, quote unquote. But the bad news is August really doesn't have anything to do with it. At this point, August is just a venting room, like where people just go complain. And he has no influence currently because he's not even working. And even then, he's not the guy that would be responsible. I mean, there could be times where he sees this and he'll go to the pub and like have a beer with Freak and be like, "Hey, Freak, have you seen this win rate?" Like overall, like he has nothing to do with the game right now. He only likes to talk about things he's done. Like he'll famously like talk about Briar for like 10 hours about how cool she is and her feet, etc. So like even though he addressed it, it doesn't really mean anything. But it's still nice to see that it's been noticed by someone, but it's not going to lead to anything. However, the good news is I do think we are going to see some buffs soon. However, changes, I'm not so sure, but again, Freak has mentioned it in the past. So, with that said, I want you guys to let me know what you guys would like changed on Twitch, maybe, or what you feel is bad. And then, as you do that, we'll go over this here. And just to put, like, for me, right, I like Twitch, like how his kit kind of, like he's very simple, but because of how simple his kit is, it gives it like more purpose, right? So like there are millions of ways to use your Q. Ashe ults you, you preemptively Q, so like your stealth by the time they get to you. You can attack someone, stealth go away, you can stealth to go in, you can W in front of them, you can W behind you. There's a lot of mind games, like there's a lot to Twitch, like even if his kit's like really simple, like he's a very like intricate and like complicated champion, like overall, like if you really want to go like really in depth, right? Positioning, all of these things. Like I just really love the simple but like nice kit. Although I do think some things could have been changed, like added maybe, but overall, like I like the simplicity, like the camouflage, the ult, like everything is just overall, like it's a really nice kit. Just misses like a couple of things. But like I wouldn't want him to be like overloaded with spells and like utility dashes, whatever. Like yeah. Like I like the simplicity. How like you take something simple and then you can make something beautiful with it, you know? That's like how like ultimately describe Twitch. And obviously, one of the things that's been mentioned with Twitch, if they want to change him, is take power, like give him more power outside of his ult. And this person here on Reddit made the post and explained his changes. And first, he said auto attack roll speed increased. I don't mind this, but the reason is you can just attack faster. It's especially good against Ashe or champions that have greater attack range than you. Auto attack range from 550 to 575. If ult is to be changed, I do actually like this one. I actually find it interesting that I put 575 because I was thinking 600 initially, but then I thought, okay, just a little bit more and it would be nice, right? So I think this 575, I don't think there's any other ADCs that has this. I think this could actually be nice. So to scrap this, I don't mind. Like, but of course, there are a lot of ADCs that's 500, 550, 5 whatever, right? And then Deadly Venom Price passive, poison duration for 6 seconds to 3 seconds. Poison tick rate, so like same damage, just short time frame. And the reason for this is obviously like turret and all of these things. One reason why I don't like this is because the poison can be quite annoying. Like you can't back when you have it on you, so like even though it lasts for them for a bit, like it has its benefits, especially like with the old presses in mind, right? So again, I don't think this is something I would want to see changed. But these are just my opinions. I don't mean to share or like talk shit about his changes, but just overall, the passive I would like to have the same duration, even though sometimes it can be annoying. And then this one here, new enemies with 6 poison stacks on them are now inflicted with grievous wounds. Although I think this is nice, I think this is giving it too much power, in my opinion. And each tick refreshes the duration of press attack. I actually have said this before, and this is a quality of life change. Like, I completely agree with this. Like, in combat, poison keeps you, like, it's combat. So there's no reason why I shouldn't refresh it, and it should work with some other things too. So, overall, I really wouldn't do anything here. I think the grievous wounds would be too strong. So, yeah. Ambush duration decreased in all ranks. The plan is to make Q less suppressive and shift power to other abilities. Cooldown increased on all ranks. Switch now and brings all stealth during AO animation. Rather when the AO goes off. This is a QL once again. Aurora had this one. Definitely should be going through. Especially with ping, it can become an issue where you just open up from stealth, don't do an auto attack, and you just reveal yourself. Huge issue there. It's basically a QL because they did that to Aurora, as I mentioned before. The duration, I'm not so sure. Like, I feel even 10 seconds might be too short. It just really depends, like, how they would do this. If you would go into stealth faster or something, maybe I would agree with it, because then it would have, like, more relevancy in combat. Maybe make the camouflage smaller then. Like, those are the kind of things. Because you need the time because of the camouflage zone being so large, right? But if it was smaller, then you could cut the time because you don't need to like circle around as much to like avoid being detected. It's like maybe, but again, I think having this duration be as it is right now is not that bad. And we also have champions with permanent camouflage, such as Evelyn, right? So depending on what kind of power they would give, it could be fine. One being like camouflage zone being smaller. But anything under 10 seconds, I don't think would be fine. It would be too short. But again, I don't know. It's such an iconic ability, and like the use cases and everything. I don't know. I don't really like it that much. Mana cost, wave clear, cooldown, 80. Yeah, this is fine. I completely agree with this. This wouldn't even be like a huge buff to any of them. The slow being increased, reduced AP ratio. Duration 3 to 2 seconds. Now cast time escalates with attack speed. And then one of the other ones he mentioned there, immediately grants 2 poison stacks rather than 1 second, inflicts 4% grievous wounds. Like, again, I think this would be too broken. I don't really see the reason for this. And all of this. Like, again, like, if I was to like do something with the W, I would want to make it like more interactive. Like, if we're gonna make Twitch like about the poison, like I would like to see the poison being interaction here. So like, one example would be like a short route, right? Like that could be something, but I think that would maybe be too strong. I don't know. But if we could implement like the poison into every ability, that'd be nice. Of course, I think like a short route duration would be plausible and not too broken. So, and it could have both offensive and defensive like playstyles. Like if someone goes to you, you can like throw on them and root them and get away, or like they run away and then you throw it to like lock them down for a second so you can catch up. But ultimately, what I would like the most is that the slow, like once they would been hit by the W, you can't just leave the zone. Like, once you've been hit by, you're slowed for like 2 seconds or something. So, like, even if you leave the zone, you're still slowed. Like, I don't know what it is, but like the slow from W just feels slower than anything else in the game. Like I'll get Ash Arrows that like slowed from passive like early game, and it'll feel like I'm getting slowed a lot more than what my W is slowing for. And also like the throw animation, everything like you can throw off and it can become awkward. So I think like that's at least something I would like to see done with the W before they did anything else. Just hitting them would slow them for 2 seconds, even if they left it, because that would leave some kind of like wiggle room for like mistake as well, like throwing it like a little bit bad, right? And I don't think that would add too much power to the ability. I think the slow. I don't know. I don't mind this too much. Attack speed. This is definitely fine. The duration. I don't know. If it's not gonna slow like past it, it kind of should be 3 seconds. Like 2 seconds is incredibly short. So like it wouldn't really even do anything then. So like at that point, like what kind of ability have you got? Like Band will slow you revitalize for like 10 years, right? And something Riot said is like they want to move power into champions and away from items. So like the fact that Brand, as an example, can have a slow for like much longer with items than you could do with your kit just kind of doesn't make sense. So reducing the duration, I don't think is like possible. 2 seconds would just be too short. The E base damage should be much higher early, slightly more late game at level 1 same. This is the only ability that does damage. New using on champions of 6 stacks spreads 2 poison to enemies close to the champion's hit. So like this one, I think they could do the Wild Rift route, but again, I would like to see other things. But like there are options there where it wouldn't be too broken. Like if you're 6 stack expunged, then it procs on everyone, like damage, even if they're not afflicted. Spreading the poison, I think, it'd be nice, but like, I don't know. I think the base damage can be increased, of course. Like late game, easy solution to this would just make it give it crit scaling. But again, I just feel like adding some like 6 stack things to like each part of his kit would be enough. Of course, it was good enough. Cast them not scale. Yeah, I don't mind this. The E, of course, is a special kind of thing, like they can flash out and die still, etc. But again, this is completely fine. This is a very neutral change, wouldn't really impact anything. And then we have Spray and Pray is old. Bonus AD being 30-45, nerf to 20-30-40, slight nerf early, heavy nerf late to make him less ult reliant. Missile speed increased again. Damage reduction on sub-skin enemies counts towards. I don't mind. Yeah, it's QL. I don't really mind this one. Should be champions. Champions that Twitch clicked on can't dodge the A anymore. Anyone else can. Die passive. Blah, blah, blah. And to me, I feel like you can do this, like especially against like Kalista or something, right? Like she can dodge all of them. But this is like the beauty, almost. It's like, even if you miss, it can be like a happy incident. Like, I think people fail to realize sometimes, like, what missing your ult in a team fight on a lot of people has done to, like, people in the backline or something. Or, like, other things that has happened due to how it is right now. So, like, guaranteed hits can be nice, but it could also be a bit weird. I don't know. But again, I like it. I don't mind it. I don't mind these changes too much, but I do have another problem with it, but we'll continue here. Damage reduction on sub-scan enemies, yeah. Champions that Twitch clicked on, yeah. And then another new one, champions here now receive 6% armor reduction, stacking with each hit up to 3 times, 18%. And in my opinion, like the change I wanted is passive would do this, but it would be like 2% per passive stack, so you get 12% on pen if you have 6 stacks on them permanently. And I don't think this will be too broken because obviously it scales with like items and levels anyway. So like it's not going to be like incredibly powerful early game. It's not going to be like incredibly power at any point. It's just going to feel nicer overall. This is the reason why I'm best sign over champions has like pen in the passives like an ult, etc. Like it's not like incredibly broken, but it's still nice. So like I don't see why this can't be in the passive. And the new unlock switch passive attacks unlocks Twitch attack speed cap. Now we can once. So like the entire goal of Riot, right, is to move power out of the ult. But like again, like he had the change this fails, I think, is just still like the ult is overloaded. Arm penetration, unlocked attack speed cap. So like I feel like this fails at doing that because you're still giving the ult so much power. And you have to understand, like, if you're removing power from the ult, you're doing other things such as like lessening its range, making the bolt steal less damage. Like these are the kind of things that is like giving it less power and then moving that power elsewhere. Like I other than 10 AD, I don't really see anything being moved from here. And the arm penetration late game more than enough makes up for this change here. Like I'd rather have 18% arm pen than I'd have 20 AD here, right? So I think these changes, some of them are nice, but overall it kind of like fails to hit the mark of moving power of his ult. And the unlock attack speed cap, I'm a very big fan of that one. However, I would like it on ambush instead, because again, then you're less ult reliant, right? And that's the point, to be less ult reliant. And arm penetration, again, I would like to see that move to the poison. And overall, maybe like some poison interactions overall on every single ability, like the root. I think it's nice, like 0.5 seconds of move root. Doesn't have to be a lot. Or and it like it slows when you leave the zone too. I think that would be nice. But of course, like we could have a complete rework where the cascade and everything isn't even the same anymore. It just really depends, like what Riot decides to do. But overall, I like Twitch. He's a macro champion, and like when you use your abilities matters. So like you saving your ult for like key team fights is very important, right? So like Twitch is like a very like big brain ADC kind of. If you blow your ult at the wrong point, you are fucked, and that's beautiful. I think he's a macro champion, so like he doesn't have low agency in that sense. Like he has a lot of agency sometimes, but he can't force close games. He has to fight around dragons and objectives. Like he's like the most like biggest like macro champion in the game, just like Corky with his package before, right? Like that's basically Twitch, and then he just slowly closes out the game unless he's like completely stumping. But he will make sure that you win team fights. Like that's Twitch, right? So like I would like to have this remain in this kit, like this like brain thing, like using things at the right time, like you Q at the right time, you ult at the right time, positioning, and remain in the hyper carry role, right? I don't want to see him move away from like being hyper carry like Jinx, right? So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys would like to change on Twitch, but these are the things that I think personally. Although some of these ideas are good, I think it fails overall at moving power out of the ult, as the ult is just as if, or if not more powerful than before, and just basically everything else got buffed. So overall, 575, I think this is a perfect change. Like keeping this poison, some interaction there, keep the duration. I like that, but this is my opinion, of course. Like everyone can be. I just want to see if my vision for Twitch aligns with others. It's basically like my thing here. Like how many people agree with what I'm saying here, and like how many people think that the changes are like the way I look at Twitch is completely wrong. All right, but yeah, I don't know. I really like him being like this, like using everything at the right time, like the macro god, like getting punished and stuff. Like I like that. I don't want like really short cooldowns. I want like longer cooldowns with big impact. Although they're very simple, right? But yeah, I don't know what else to add. Other than I'd love to hear you guys' changes or thoughts. Anyways, hope you guys continue to have a good one on next one and shit like that. And take care. Peace.